125 technical water use planning process meetings over about the last 10 years, and I can tell you that was way too much overkill as far as I'm concerned in terms of learning a simple fact that a lack of water is bad for fish. I've also sat through 4 years of restoration meetings around the Coquitlam River and saw $2 million of taxpayers' money spent examining the feasibility of restoring a sockeye run that was extirpated by human behavior more than 93 years ago. And so far we haven't seen a single sockeye get back into the lake. I've also helped Coquitlam First Nation look at the impacts of the Gateway project. And I can tell you there are multiple. They are impacts on Pitt River Ulican, on Pitt River Sturgeon, on Pitt River Coho. There's roads that cross 124 water bodies. And the list is so long, it's just quite amazing. And we just sat through 2 days of meetings looking at how we can mitigate some of those impacts. The list is long, and the damage to rivers also includes gravel mines in the Coquitlam River, urbanization, pollution. I'm not going to go through the entire list. But I can tell you, you can't sit through all those meetings without drawing a few conclusions about human behavior. And I want to just share a couple tonight. First one is that humans are very creative at finding ways to damage the environment, justifying their actions under the guise of progress. The second lesson is an unwise development project can have major consequences or impacts, but those impacts are almost always less than the collective or cumulative impacts of several unwise projects. Some of us know this as a death of 1,000 cuts. It's also human nature to individualize gains and socialize losses. And the government is supposed to look out for public interest, and more often than not betrays that interest on the altar of ideology and expediency. One last one, you can't rely on government or industry to protect public interest. It's up to individuals, like the individuals in this room. Individuals forced BC Hydro to restore water to the Coquitlam River. They forced BC Hydro to restore sockeye to the Coquitlam River. Individuals forced the Ministry of Transport to measure and mitigate the damage of the transportation infrastructure that is going in place. And it will be individuals in this room who force the government to protect all the other values in the Upper Pitt River that the people in this room are here to protect. One of the things I've also learned in attending all these meetings, way too many, is that private interests in government space say they are doing the right thing, but those claims more often than not won't stand up to even a casual examination. And I just want to finish off with two examples. The first one is the Run River has used Watershed Watch's guide to Citizens Guide to Understanding green hydropower, private power, to respond to our top 10 list of considerations on what makes a project sustainable. And I can tell you that they didn't do it with our permission. They didn't consult with us. And in fact, we will be responding to that list in a separate fashion. And I can tell you that it's good fodder for response, because one of the things we talk about are locating projects wisely as being key to sustainability to these projects. And I don't think that you've heard too many people think that taking a park and locating a power project through a park is a wise decision in this meeting so far. And I will finish up just on the issue of consultation with First Nations. I have a letter here addressed from Coquitlam First Nation to Mr. Krasinski, the president of Run River, on February 18th. And he would like to, and it just says a couple lines here, I'll just read those. It says, Coquitlam would like to start off by making sure that it's understood how important the Upper Pitt River sockeye salmon is to this First Nation. It is also important to understand that Coquitlam interests extend beyond more than the Pitt River fish, and we're also concerned about the environmental impacts as well as impacts to our heritage and cultural sites. And by the way, there was just a traditional use study that shows that Coquitlam did use the Pitt River watershed extensively, and I'd be happy to share that with you. The proposed project will have negative impact on all 5 species of salmon, and Coquitlam Nation are opposed to this project. And finally, the last line in this letter is that consultation has yet to begin with the Coquitlam First Nation on this project. So You can say that you consulted. You haven't consulted with us on the use of our top 10 list on considerations for sustainable projects, and you haven't consulted with Coquitlam First Nation either. Thank you.